Good morning, student. Our next practical that is based upon the switch configuration with eNSP software. So in this, we learn about how we can connect switch with different PCs, whether we are connecting two PC, whether we are connecting three PC, whether we are connecting four PC, five PC, or more than two PC. So we have to assign first IP address to the particular switches, whether we are talking about the single switch, whether we are talking about the number of switches. So in this practical, we will do some important tasks. In that case, first task that is we have to assign IP address to switch as well as for two PCs. So second step we will perform in practical part that is access port. We have to create one access port. Third, that is we have to apply whether we apply STP port protocol, whether we are talking about the RSTP, spanning tree protocol or reverse spanning tree protocol. Fourth, that is we have to display the STP. STP, what is it? That is the configuration of STP. Next step is to test the connection, whether our connection is completely established with our destination. And last step that is save the configuration part. So I'm just going to start our eNSP. So our eNSP is going to start within a minute. So this is a interface, eNSP interface. So we have to so basically we need one switch. So there are different type of connectors here. If you want to use a switch, so this is a router, this is a switches. So if we want to connect one switch, so click on a switch and drag into the main screen. So after that, we have to connect number of PCs. Suppose we want to connect two PCs. So click on a end devices, click on a PC and drag PC1 here and drag PC2 here. Suppose here I'm just going to explain with one switch and two PCs. So we need a connections between switch and PCs. So suppose I'm going to connect the connection part. So I'm just using the copper cable. I'm just going to connect this copper cable from switch. So it will ask what type of gigabit Ethernet connection you want to be open. So this is a port 1. I'm just going to click gigabit Ethernet 1 with PC. So it will ask Ethernet port 001. After that, I'm just going to click on the again switch because port number 1 is occupied with PC1. So next step is to connect PC2. So here I'm just going to use gigabit Ethernet 2 port number with PC2. So still our connection is established. Connection cable is if we want to connect the cable. So I'm just going to press the escape key for removing this. And now I'm just going to specify the particular links. So these all are our ranks. So here this is our switch 1. Here it's a PC1 and PC2. Suppose I am going to assign IP address for switch. Suppose IP address for switch that is 172.101.101.3. Suppose this is the IP address for this, because you have to assign some IP addresses to the switches as well. So suppose now next step is to assign the IP address. What IP address we are going to assign to this PC1? So I'm just going to write here, suppose 172.101.101.1, and IP address for PC2, that is 172.101.101.2. So they all are from same network. How we can say it's the same network? Because you can see all the three octets values are same, but only last octet value is different. Suppose in the case of PC1, the last octet value is 1, and in the case of PC2, the last octet value is 2. And what about a switch? And switch is having an IP address of 3. So our next step is to start this topology. As I already told you, there are two ways to start the topology. One is select the topology and click on the start device, or you are directly click on the start device. So now it is starting a device. Sometime it will take time for near about 1 or 2 minutes for starting the devices. Because in this case, we have to assign subnet masks as well. Because our IP address that belongs from class B, so default subnet mask is 255.255.0.0. So I'm just going to write here. So I'm not able to write because our system, device is going to start. So I'm just write subnet mask after the starting this device. So our device is started. So I'm just going to write subnet mask here, that is 255.255.0.0. So this is a subnet mask for this switch, and for PC same as it is 255.255.0.0. Why 255.0.0? Because they all are from same class. So class, that is class B, because class B is having a 2 network ID and 2 host ID. So 255 and 255 is for the network ID, and 0 and 0 for the host IDs. So now I'm going to open the switch. So just double click on the switch. So our switch is going to start. The device is running. Again, sometime it will take approximate 1 or 2 minutes. So now we just assign IP address for PC1 first, because on that time the switch is going to start. We are just going to assign IP address to the PC. So this is PC1. Sometime firewall not allowing to start the switches, you have to click on a allow access. So see, our switch is started. So it will tell the all the 24 ports are available to access. So suppose we will start first PC. Oh, sorry, first switch. We have to assign IP address and subnet address for this PC, for the particular switch. So first step is, because whenever we just start the switch or router, so it is under the user mode. So this is our user mode. When our less than and greater than signs are there, that means our switch that is under user view. We cannot assign any IP address when we are under user view. We have to change our view first. So how we can change the view? Because after a user view, we have a system view. So we just write system hyphen view, then press enter key. So see, we just enter system view, and how we can return the from user view to system view, oh, sorry, system view to user view, that is pressing the control Z key. When I just press control Z, so our mode again it will be changed. But we have to assign an IP address to a particular switch. That means we need system view. So I'm just going to enter into the system view. So after system view, the basic step is to assign and name this particular switch. So right now, by default name is Huawei. So I'm just going to assign a name with the command that is sysname space, suppose it is a switch 1, and press enter key. So see, name has been changed. So next step is to apply virtual LAN here. So how we can apply virtual LAN? So we just write a command Vlan. Suppose I'm going to assign a virtual LAN number 10. So right now I am on virtual LAN. So we just write quit after the applying the virtual LAN. Then after that we have to enter into this virtual LAN. So how we can enter into this virtual LAN? We just enter with this int space VLAN space 10. Then press enter key. So we first enter into the int VLAN space 10. Now we are entered into the interface of VLAN. And now next step is assigning the IP address and subnet mask to this switch. So write IP address space, what is IP address for this? 172.101.101.3. Then subnet mask is 255.255.0.0. Then press enter key. Our IP address is going to assign this switch as well. So our IP address is assigned. So now move to the PCs. So here it is our PC1. Because our PC1, now first step is to assign a name to this particular PC. So suppose this is our PC1. And we have to assign IP address to this particular PC and subnet mask as well. So we have different ways to assign IP address. One is static and another one is DHCP, but we are having an IP address that is particular for this PC. That means we use static. That means we assigning IP address by user as well or by itself. So IP address that is 172 for this PC, 101.101, and 1 is for this particular PC. And subnet mask for this 255.0.0. So this is the IP address for PC1 and subnet mask for PC1. And now click on the apply button. So it is applied to this. Now next step is to assign the IP address for PC2. So just double click on a PC2. So see the color is changed from red to green because our topology is right now is working. So basically it's a small topology where we are having one switch and two PC. Now double click on a PC2. So this is our PC2 and IP address for PC2, that is 172.101.101 and 2 for 2 PC, and subnet mask, that is 255.255.0.0. Now click on the apply button. When you click on the apply button, your IP address and subnet mask is assigned to this PC. So our next step is to create the access port, because we achieve our uh, first point, that is assigning the IP address to this switch and PCs as well. So now move to the switch part. So this is a switch part. Our status is up. That means our status is activated right now. So we have to quit from here. We just write a Q and press enter key. We just quit from here. And we have to create the access port as well. So how we can create access port? Because whenever we connecting from PC to switch, on that time we need one access port. So we just enter into the, because see, there is the connection between PC to switch, that is the gigabit port 0/0/1. So here I am just going to enter into this particular port because this port is connected to switch. So I'm just going to write int space gig space 0/0/1, then press enter key. And now I am entered into this Ethernet port or our particular port. So our next step is to assign the access port. So how we can assigning access port? We just write port length hyphen type access. So our link port is access port is established right now. So now next step is assign the port VLAN for this port. So we write port default space VLAN 10. Now we are entered into the this we are just going we just applied VLAN 10 to this particular port. Now if we want to check the this VLAN port is whether it is assigned the particular, we just write display VLAN 10. So it will display the configuration part of VLAN. So this is a command display that tells you the complete configuration about the VLAN. And now next step is to assign the STP mode. So before applying STP mode, we are having another PC because we have two PCs too that is connected with this particular switch. So we have to apply same command for PC2. So our PC2's port number is gigabit Ethernet 0/0/2. But right now we are in the one port number. So we have to quit from here and enter into the gigabit Ethernet port number 2. So 0/0/2. And now I'm just entered into this port. So our next step is assigning the access port. So access port for command, that is port space link hyphen type space access. Then press enter key. Now next step is assigning a VLAN to this port. So we just write port space default VLAN 10. Now press enter key. So our status is up right now. So our next step is to apply STP mode. So we are just going to apply STP mode. So we just write a quit from here. So first we assign the STP mode RS TP. So we just applied STP mode here. We have to apply this mode for PC1 as well. That means we have to enter into the port number 1. So how we can enter? So command is in space GIG space R port number. And now I'm going to apply the STP mode. So apply STP mode RS TP, then press enter key. So that means our STP mode is applied to this PC. So now next step is this. So if you want to display the configuration part of STP mode, you just write display STP. So it will tell all the configuration about the STP mode. Because whenever we are just going to apply the STP mode, they are exchanging hello packet with our destination. And they are exchanging some BPTUs. We will explain these type of BPTU. What is BPTU? We explain later on. So this is all about the what are the different ports are enabled, what is designated port, what is alternate port. We will explain all these type of ports as well when we are when we learned about the STP. So we just quit from here, and our next step is to check the connectivity. To check the connectivity between switches and PCs. So suppose I'm going to send command. So how we can check the connectivity? Connectivity we check with the help of ping command. So first we just check the IP address, IP config for this PC. So this is the IP address for PC1 172.101.101.1. So this is the IP address for this PC, and this is our physical address. That means our system's MAC address. As we already learned about, we are having two different types of address for PC. One is logical address and another one is a physical address. So IP address is our logical address, we can change, and physical address is our MAC address, but we cannot change this MAC address. So we are going to send ping command to PC2. We are just check the IP address for PC2. So right now I am on PC2 and I am going to check the command IP config. Then it will tell the IP address for PC2. And now I am moving to the PC1. So I'm just going to write IP address for PC2. So 172.101.101.2. And yes, I'm just going to enter the command. So see, we are getting a reply back from the PC2. So see, there are 5 packet transmitted, 5 packet received, and 0 packet lost. That means our PC2 is ready to communicate with us. So next is we have to check the connection between from PC2 to PC1. So I'm just going to move to the PC2 and going to write ping command here 172.101.101.1. Press enter key. See, our we are getting a reply back from PC1. That means PC1 also ready to communicate with us. So 5 packet transmitted and 5 packet received. So that means our topology is completely established or completely working. It is completely working. That means our switch is completely working because they are communicating and they are sending reply back, and they are uh, sending reply back for from both the PCs, PC1 as well and PC2 as well. So this is all about the switch configuration part, because in this case we just use one switch and two different PCs, and these are the IP trays that we have to assign this particular switch, and these are the subnet mask for the particular this topology, because we are assigning IP address that is belong from class B. That means our by default subnet mask for class B 255.255.0.0, because class B is having a two network ID and two host IDs. So that is why our subnet mask is this, and IP address for this PC1 and IP address for this PC2. These are the connections that is connected between switch and PCs. Now moving further to the configuration part. So this is all about our configuration part. So first we have to change the name. So how we can change the name for PCs? We are having the command. So before changing the name, we have to enter into the system view. So how we will enter the system view? With the help of system-view command. Then after that, we entered into the system view mode. Then next step is to assign the name to this PC, because this is right now we're on a switch, so we are going to assign a name to this switch. So command for that, sysname and name of the switch. So here we are just assign a name to this switch, that is S1. Next step is going to assign a VLAN. So VLAN 10, we just assign this PC. Then after that, we just entered into the VLAN 10 and assigning IP address to this particular switch. So this is a command for assigning IP address, specific IP address, and space the subnet mask for this IP address. So after assigning IP address, we just assign the access port to particular port numbers. So first we assign the port number 1. So how we can enter into this port number? With the help of int gig 0/0/1 and port link type access. Then after that, we just assign a VLAN to this port number. So we just display the VLAN 10 with the help of display VLAN 10 command, and same as it is for PC2, port link type access. So same command for PC1 and same command for PC2. Now next step is we just assign the SGP mode to both the PCs, and then we just display the SGP mode with the help of display command. So this is all about the configuration part of switch and PCs. So this is a small topology where we have one switch and two PCs. So if you want to save this configuration, we have to enter into the system view. How we can enter? So with the help of Control Z, right now we are entered into the user view. Now how we can save the this topology? Write the save and press enter key. It will ask the configuration, the current configuration will be written to the device. Are you sure to continue? We just write why, because we are sure to continue or sure to save this configuration. Then press enter key, and your configuration is saved. So save the configuration successfully. So this is all about the small topology. So thank you, students.